Right now at noon, the Sun Prairie community demanding answers following a sex crimes investigation into Sun Prairie West High School. Plus, the latest on the mass shooter who opened fire in a New York City office building, what we're learning about the victims. This is News 3 Now at noon. Continuing coverage now on a sex crime investigation at Sun Prairie West High School. Community members are now demanding the high school administration resign. This comes hours after the former dean of students and physical education teacher, Robert Gilkey-Meisiger, was charged with 15 felonies. The criminal complaint alleges the 30-year-old engaged in sexual contact with multiple underage students. It says he had sexual contact with at least one student inside the school, stored hundreds of photos of female students, clothed and nude on his phone, and provided underage students alcohol in exchange for nude photos. The complaint also accuses the district's HR department of investigating a tip about his relationship with an underage child, but failing to report it.
There are students and parents alike saying, I told the principal about it, I told different administrators about it, and nothing was done. The reality is so many people have lost faith in this school.
That tells me that many minutes in that school and interactions with that person, that former dean, could have been avoided if people had just done the job they promised to do.
At the time, the district closed its internal investigation, calling the allegations unsubstantiated. Gilkey-Meisiger now faces 13 counts of possession of child pornography and 2 counts of child exploitation. His bond is set at $75,000. He is scheduled to appear in court next week. Happening today, a man accused of poisoning women he previously dated is due in Rock County Court. Paul Van Dyne faces 3 counts of attempted first-degree intentional homicide in Rock County. He also faces conspiracy to commit first-degree intentional homicide charges in Dane County. The charges follow a hazmat response in Madison last month. Police say Van Dyne and co-defendant Andrea Whitaker stalked women and broke into their cars, leaving dangerous chemicals behind like cyanide. Van Dyne is set to appear in court at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Starting next month, the Police and Fire Commission will begin the final interview process for selecting Madison's new police chief. The commission is down to 3 finalists. The interview process will contain 2 segments and incorporate community feedback for questions. The community will also be able to watch recordings of parts of the interview and provide feedback by August 15th. You can register now to provide feedback at a special meeting on the 25th. That link is on the City of Madison's website. All lanes of State Highway 19 at Weideman Drive are back open at this hour following a crash earlier today. According to the Wisconsin DOT, the crash happened at 12:23 this morning. Dane County Dispatch says at least 2 vehicles were involved and 1 vehicle caught fire. Our photographer captured video showing a Medflight helicopter on the scene. So far, we do not know how many people were injured in the crash. Those lanes reopened later around 6:40 this morning. 1 person is dead and another injured after a collision with a dump truck. It happened Monday on State Highway 33 in Sauk County. Witnesses reported an SUV hit a dump truck and both were on fire. When deputies got there, they found the driver of the SUV still inside. The 42-year-old driver died at the scene. First responders took the driver of the dump truck to Reedsburg Area Medical Center. We do not yet know their condition. Well, temperatures staying hot for now, but a cool down is on the way eventually. Here's First Warn meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Josh. Yeah, today is looking like it will be the last hot day, at least for the rest of the week. May see it at the end of the 10-day forecast, but we're not going to see any rain for the rest of the day, which will really help those temperatures warm up once again. Now, we had that rain this morning, and we're seeing some showers out near Iowa, but for the most part, our area going to remain dry for the rest of the day. Taking a look at future track, we'll see a few clouds here and there, but the chance of rain is very minimal until we get to the later overnight hours and into tomorrow. And tomorrow we have a very good chance of rain, but I'll get to that a little bit later. I do want to talk about the temperatures as well. Right now, lower 80s, middle to lower 80s for southern Wisconsin. Some areas still hanging on to the upper 70s. Heat index values are in the lower 90s again. Now, we don't have an alert day today, as it won't be quite as hot as yesterday, but it is still going to be a pretty hot one this afternoon. Heat index values getting up to around 95 at the worst, and a lot of the area going to get close to 90 in that heat index department, with actual temperatures getting into the middle and upper 80s. Now, we also are going to be dealing with low air quality today. Now, we have an air quality alert for our entire state, but we're not seeing the low air quality just yet. Right now, the entire area at good levels, but we are going to see some wildfire smoke really move into the area later tonight and into tomorrow morning. Now, it looks like by the afternoon it will get a little bit better, the air quality in southern Wisconsin, with some thicker air quality in northern Wisconsin still. And then for Thursday, that is when the air quality alert will come to an end, noon Thursday to be specific. But until then, we're going to continuously be dealing with lower air quality. But in all honesty, tomorrow, although it will be cooler, it's not going to be a very ideal day to spend outside anyway, as we're going to see plenty of rainfall tomorrow. So I'll talk more about that a bit later. But you notice those temperatures tomorrow compared to today. We're going to barely get into the lower 70s. So I'll talk about the temperature swing. And after tomorrow, it's going to be very nice to end the week. All the details still to come.
Welcome changes. All right, Jacob, we'll see you in Maine weather in a few minutes. Well, right now, New York City investigators may have a clue as to a motive in a deadly Midtown shooting based on a note the gunman left behind. CBS's Bradley Blackburn is at the scene in Manhattan with the new developments.
Investigators are searching for a motive in the deadly shooting at a Manhattan office building that left 4 victims dead, including a police officer. New York Mayor Eric Adams says a note was found with the shooter, identified as 27-year-old Shane Tamura of Las Vegas.
The note alluded to that he felt he had CTE, a known brain injury for those who participate in contact sports. He appeared to have blamed the NFL for his injury.
Adams told CBS Mornings the preliminary investigation shows the gunman meant to go to the NFL offices but took the wrong elevator.
The building personnel said, stay in place. There's an active shooter. Don't leave. Get away from the windows.
Among the victims of Monday night's attack is NYPD officer Didarul Islam, who was shot and killed in the lobby. The 36-year-old immigrant from Bangladesh joined the force 3.5 years ago.
He was saving lives. He was protecting New Yorkers.
Police say the gunman also killed a security officer and a woman in the lobby. He then took the elevator to the 33rd floor where the shooting continued.
One person was struck and killed on that floor. He then proceeds down a hallway and shoots himself in the chest.
Investigators say the suspect drove himself from Las Vegas all the way to New York City, where he parked directly in front of this 44-story office building and then walked into the lobby with a high-powered rifle.
According to our law enforcement partners in Las Vegas, Mr. Tamura has a documented mental health history.
Investigators say the shooter was carrying a concealed firearms permit. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
According to a senior law enforcement source in Nevada, the suspect was licensed as an unarmed security guard, but that license had expired. The source also says he had committed several times in the last year for mental health holds. Well, Jeffrey Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell is asking the Supreme Court to overturn her sex trafficking conviction. She's arguing she should have been shielded under an earlier plea agreement between Epstein and federal prosecutors in Florida. Meanwhile, President Trump continues to try to distance himself from convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and dismiss the controversy, despite bipartisan calls for more transparency. Now, in another development, CBS News is now reporting and has new reporting about the so-called missing minute from the surveillance video at the Manhattan Correctional Center, where Epstein died by suicide in 2019. A government source says the FBI is in possession of a copy of the video that does not jump forward 1 minute. It's unclear why that section was missing when the FBI earlier this month released what it said was raw footage from that night. A U.S. district judge is blocking enforcement of the legislation nationwide that would defund Planned Parenthood's health care services. The judge says patients would likely suffer from the disruption of medical services or a lack of available care altogether. Last week, the judge ruled the Trump administration could not enforce the funding ban against those organizations. The measure was part of the bill that bars Medicaid users from coverage with a health care provider that also provides abortion services. Although the law did not explicitly mention Planned Parenthood, it does fall in that category. Coming up next on News 3 Now at noon, how some European nations are reacting to the recent trade deal between the U.S. and EU, plus why a hack impacting a women-only dating advice app is more serious than previously thought.
President Trump's announcement this past weekend that the U.S. and European Union had reached a trade deal is getting mixed reactions from member countries and economists. Hungary sharply criticized the agreement, saying President Trump ate the EU for breakfast. French officials complain the deal is unbalanced and unequal, while German and Italian politicians say it offers predictability and avoids a trade war. Some economists predict the agreement will slow growth and say it's also problematic because it contains vague details that are open to interpretation. A hack affecting the women-only dating advice app T was more serious than previously disclosed. The company said yesterday users' direct messages were breached, as well as some of their photos. T says tens of thousands of images and messages were accessed. The company has taken the affected system offline. And it's National Chicken Wing Day. What does that mean for you? Well, free chicken wings, of course. Buy one order of wings at Applebee's online and get another one free. At Buffalo Wild Wings, get 6 free wings on them with a $10 order by using the promo code FREEWINGS. And at Popeyes, score 6 bone-in wings free with a 6-wing purchase. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
Here's the stock report at the noon hour. The Dow's down 104 points, NASDAQ down 22, and the S&P 500 down this hour 12. Our call for action volunteers are in the building today, taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. Remember, you can always call for action at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. We have the farm numbers straight ahead, along with the first warn forecast, and later on Live at 4, the National Mustard Museum, of course, located in the heart of Middleton. We're going to preview an upcoming event all about the condiment. Pam Youngie's out of the radio barn on her Canadian Rockies farm tour, so here are your farm numbers. To your first warn weather now, here's meteorologist Jacob Montesano with the full forecast. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Josh, if we take a look at the 3 things you need to know, we are going to see one more day of some warm temperatures, and today that will be that day with highs still in the 80s. And as we take a look at what we're going to see, excuse me, I don't believe my clicker seems to be not working right now. This is going to be the last day in the 80s, and then for tomorrow, we are going to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the region, and that is really going to cool the temperatures down with highs in the 70s to end the week. Now, if we take a look at the current radar, not really seeing much, just some light showers out near Iowa, but we are going to see some rain tomorrow. However, for the rest of the day, expect dry conditions, but it will be sunny and warm. But looking later in the night, we are going to see those scattered showers and thunderstorms begin moving in, maybe not even until after sunrise Wednesday, but once they do move in, we are expecting some rain for much of the day. The good news is that we aren't expecting any severe weather, at least not widespread severe weather. Can't completely rule out an isolated strong storm, but for the most part, it will just be some moderate to potentially heavy showers, and still could see some thunderstorms with this heavy rainfall. Now again, these showers and storms are going to last for much of the day into the evening hours, and concerts on the square will likely be moved to Thursday, just because obviously we're going to see rain tomorrow, and Thursday looks perfect. Now this rain may continue into the overnight hours Wednesday, but once we get closer to Thursday morning, a lot of that rain will clear out of the area, and then as I mentioned, Thursday looking just about perfect. And really after that rainfall Wednesday into Wednesday night, The rest of the week is almost certainly looking dry, and that's going to continue into the weekend with maybe some more rain once we get towards next work week. Now, as we look at the temperatures, again, today is going to still be warm. Highs will be in the middle to upper 80s, but for your Wednesday, we are going to see highs near 70, maybe a little bit in the lower 70s for some, and some areas may actually stay in the upper 60s if you can believe it. Now, beyond Wednesday, we are going to see some warmer temperatures, but not as warm as what we're going to see today, and certainly not as warm as what we saw the last 2 days. Highs will be in the upper 70s to lower 80s, and that's going to continue through the weekend and right now for much of next week. So it will get a little bit warmer throughout the 10-day forecast from Wednesday through Thursday, but for the most part, we're not going to see temperatures as warm as today in the foreseeable future. And as I mentioned, not going to see a lot of rainfall for the end of this week into the weekend, but towards next week we do have a little bit of a better chance of rain. And obviously we don't want to go through a long dry period, but we definitely could afford this break from the rain and from the heat. And I assume a lot of people will definitely be enjoying Thursday through the weekend. Going to be very, very nice. Again, tomorrow will be the first day of the cooler temperatures, but there's pretty much a chance of rain all day, so not ideal conditions. Plus air quality will be a bit lower tomorrow, and then it will improve for Thursday. So hard to complain really about the end of the week, what we're going to see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All right, Jacob. Thank you. A crucial route for many crossing from Wisconsin into Iowa will soon be closed. Without this, a trip that used to take 10 minutes could stretch to an hour and a half. This fall, the Iowa DOT says they need to demolish the Blackhawk Bridge that connects Lansing, Iowa to Wisconsin. This for safety reasons. A replacement bridge is planned, but it won't be ready until 2027. Local residents and businesses are worried about how this will impact their daily lives.
Oh, I'm here at least 3-4 times a week. I mean, I get my hair done here, I get my car repaired here, I go to the grocery store, they cut up steaks for me that I like over there.
It's definitely going to have a huge effect on us. I'm most worried for the people that are open 12 months out of the year. We're seasonal here, so we have summer business. I anticipate probably about a 40 to 50% decrease in business.
The Iowa DOT says it may provide a water taxi to transport people across the river while the bridge is closed, but it would not carry cars. The Milwaukee Brewers are back in first place of the NL Central after beating the Chicago Cubs last night. Game 2 of the series is tonight, and you'll be able to watch it on Television Wisconsin. Quinn Priester is slated to pitch for the Brewers while Colin Ray takes the mound for the Cubs. A win today would give the Brewers a 2-game lead at the top of the NL Central over the Cubs. A loss would tie the division up. Coverage starts at 6:30 on Television Wisconsin. That is Channel 3.2 over the air. First pitch is set for 6:40. After the break, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Today, we're turning these peaches into a fresh pie that's comfort at its best. With pie this good, you'll never want to make another dessert. This is the time of year that fresh peaches are pretty much available everywhere at some really reasonable prices. And that means we can turn them into cobblers, add them to our smoothies, or best of all, use them in all sorts of baked goods, like the creamy, dreamy pie that we're making today. We start by lining a pie plate with either a homemade or refrigerated pie crust and fluting the edges. Now, in a small bowl, we combine some brown sugar, flour, a touch of cinnamon, and a pinch of salt. After giving this a stir, we add some fresh cream and give it a mix. Now, we fill our pie crust with a good amount of sliced fresh peaches and pour the cream mixture over them. After baking it and letting it cool at room temp, into the fridge it goes until it's time for dessert. Right before serving, finish it with dollops of fresh whipped cream and thin slices of fresh peaches for an even fancier look. This pie is everything we love about fresh summer dessert. To get the recipe for our Peachy Keen Cream Pie, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a peachy delicious way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Here's Jacob with a final check of the forecast.
Yeah, we're going to be warm for the rest of today. Not really going to see a lot of rain the rest of today, but cooler temperatures tomorrow with plenty of rainfall. And then after that, we're going to remain on the cooler side. Still warm at times, but a lot cooler compared to today in the last couple of days with very dry conditions as well.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Thanks for watching News 3 Now at noon. Coming up next is The Bold and the Beautiful. Our next newscast is coming up live at 4. And remember, you can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. Make it a great afternoon.